What a long day. It's 3 o'clock and I want to jump off 18,000 cliffs at the same time.
I'm gonna move this a little bit forward.
Go ahead. Gali and I had podcasts planned with our agency partners down in Miami. We live in Boca, and I thought everything was going to be perfect. Thought I was going to be fine. I did suggest we leave like 8:30, 9 a.m., but that's only because I wanted to spar before the podcast. We get in the car at 11, and we're heading there. We're like 30 minutes in, and we look up, and it says we are an hour and a half away. The podcast starts at 12.
I'm here to make sure you're not cooking me because that was.
I immediately get angry at everybody. I blame the driver, our phenomenal Russian driver. I blame Gali. She has to pee. Somehow, we're behind. We've paid $1 million for this podcast hour. We're behind. She has to pee. And I was so mad. I still feel the anger within me. Because you got to imagine, you know what I mean? I haven't eaten. I had, a couple eggs for breakfast. That's how we start every day. And so I am livid, pissed. Reach out to our partners, let them know, hey, listen, go ahead, carry on. Utilize this hour so we get good return on investment in regard to renting out the studio. This is our home studio. I don't know what this is going to turn out and look like. If you are a podcast tech in Boca, preferably in the Boca area, please hit me up. I need somebody come up here and just check all the wiring, make things better, make some recommendations, and potentially even give you some type of full-time employment as we start to do podcasts here up in Boca. So we are an hour and 20 minutes into the trip. Gali gets our farm groceries delivered to the house. It pops up on our security system, and I'm like, is this dairy? You ordered dairy product? You knew we were going to go do this podcast. I don't think she timed that. I don't think she did that on purpose to get us to go home. But I just, at this moment, I call the guys like, hey, we're not even going to be able to make it out. You guys handle, take care, use the hour, whatever you guys want to do. We come back starving. I'm starving now. And I call this restaurant. I'm trying to find, I feel like everybody in Boca, I think it's a different level of wealth. There's no really any restaurants that are like superb. And not to overglaze carbone, poppy steak. We ate a lot at Casa Tua, which is just a simple, subtle restaurant in Brickell. These places, though, were very, very good, very, very reliable, consistent, high quality. I haven't found one in Boca. I looked them all up. I think the best thing that I've had is we had a private chef come over. Phenomenal, incredible. Russian private chef comes over, whips up some good steak that we got from the farm. Everything's organic and does an incredible job. And the customer service, impeccable. The design of the food, incredible. And it wasn't a bunch of money like you'd think it would be. One thing that's helped our relationship and would help all relationships is a date night. You have to have a date night every week. I think you should have at least 3-4 times a month. Every week you should have a date night, something that we've stood by. You should physically leave the house and you should go on a date. And you should take a moment. We've done this. It's been an incredible hack. We set the phones down and we appreciate one another. I tell her 1,000 things that I love about her and how incredible she is. She tells me 1,000 things that I can do better and how to make more money and grow. And I'm kidding. We do 3 things. 3 things good, 3 things that we can do better. We don't blame or end up pointing fingers at one another. What ends up happening, though, is like if you have arguments throughout the week or whatever the day, is in that moment of taking extreme ownership, throw in the book, Extreme Ownership. What is that, Jocko, right? In that moment, though, of taking that responsibility, it just makes you love and appreciate your partner more and also just kind of let your guard down and be like, you were right. I was an idiot with that. I spent too much money on that. I shouldn't have said that to you. I shouldn't have delivered it that way. And you just take this responsibility, you let your guard down, and you have like this sigh of relief, of energy, negative energy, just leaving your soul. And you're like, and then here's what I love about you. Here's what I appreciate about you. Here's what I love about what's going on in life, the things that I'm grateful for. And it works really well. So we've got that in a couple hours. Probably going to eat a snack before we go up there. But I wanted to share a story on my Instagram, and I'm not going to go very, very in depth. You should go to my Instagram and watch it. It says disclaimer on the video, and I share 2 stories. One is my friend. Over the last 72 hours, it's happened in the insurance space. If you guys don't know me, my name is Tristan Dlabik. Been in life insurance since 19 years old. I'm 27 now. So I'm going on November of this year or December of this year will be 9 years in the space. I'll tell you this. This guy calls me. Been working with this guy for 3 years. We started in the captive space together. He started a couple years after me, worked with me in Chicago. And he said, Tristan, I resigned. He resigned a couple weeks ago from this company. And he said, I resigned, good terms, everything was fine. I receive quarterly growth bonuses. I get my fourth quarter growth bonus deposited a couple days ago. I wake up the next day. You won't believe what happens. What happens? They take the money out. It's like, what are you talking about? They didn't take the money out. Like, what company? I understand chargebacks in the insurance space. In any business, if somebody returns a product or service and they request their money comes back, any commissions earned or revenue earned by the company, that's obviously it's a chargeback, right? I understand that, but bonuses is different. Contractually speaking, typically in the anywhere of the universe, if you receive a bonus, that's usually non-refundable, like the non-take backable money. They take the money back. I said, this is horrible. This is disgusting. I've never seen this. I literally have never seen this. I said, let's look at the contract. Let's look what the lawyer says. And forget the lawyer. Let's use ChatGPT lawyer. Okay, let's plug this into AI, have this analyzed very quickly and see if we're missing anything. Let's take ownership first. All the P's and Q's we checked. We dot every I, cross every T, and there's nothing missing. He calls the company. He says, "What's going on here?" And he said, "What do you mean?" Plain dumb. He has the whole thing recorded. So he says, "My growth bonus was taken back. I need some answers on this." And they say, "Hey, listen, we can't talk to you. You're going to need to talk to your previous manager." If this doesn't sound like the mob, mafia, corruption, what does? This kind of reminds me of government trying to track down funds, and we got to pay taxes, but nobody's held responsible for their end of things. All of the tax, I'm not even going to get political. Let's just stay right here where we're at right now. This makes this much sense. 0 cents. So he says, "What do you mean? You're the one that pays the bonus." "Sorry, we can't tell you anything." This is how the call is ended. He sits on it. I say, sit on this. We'll make some subtle content and see what we can do to educate people and help people. But God truly has this. He's already done what he's done in the sense of, look at how far your life has come in the last 3 years. Regardless of the low quality people that you've done business with, the bad contracts maybe you've signed, look at what he's taught you. And I got that from an early on mentor in my sales career, is learn what to do and what not to do from low quality people. And from people in general, because not everybody's low quality. There's just certain levels, from your pee-wee football coach to your high school football coach to the individuals that make it to the NFL. There's going to be good things that are going to help you get to the major leagues and to the highest level in life. But it's not your pee-wee football coach that's going to take you to the absolute major leagues, to the NFL, when it comes to life, finances, whatever it might be. So learn what you can in this moment. Let's store this information. Let's plan our next couple of moves here and let's see what this is going to look like. But let's educate people and help others as well. Second guy, second story, all within the same time frame, calls me up. We're chatting. It's his birthday. He's like, 9 years, man. 20 years old, he got into the company. He's like, I did 9 years, resigned, never did anything to violate my contract up into this day. Still nothing immoral. Led this company, put this company on my back, built this whole thing while you've got these egotistical maniacs run around and thinking they are literal. I love it. I call them chief master coach sirs. These chief master sergeants running around like, look at me. Look how great I am. Dog, do you realize you sell life insurance? We all sell life insurance. This is about the extent that I'll take it. Why do I even have this suit on in my house right now? And I sell life insurance. Why? For me, if I'm going to explain it right now on the spot to justify it, a certain level of professionalism, I feel better. I bring this classy professionalism and quality look to the industry, but also to set a higher standard for young men, young people in general, and making sure that they know that there's more and better in life. And just because someone's wearing a suit doesn't make them a corrupt individual. Because I've had bad experience with suit people. They put a suit on and they just yap a bunch of stupid stuff. And they're not like, I'm the same guy. I take the suit on, I'll take the suit off and put on a freaking rash guard and we can go. One of my favorite presidents to relate to, and I don't know his full ins and outs, so don't hold me to this, but I know from a little bit of research on, I think it was Andrew Jackson. This is a guy that would get the law done, get work done, but would also go out and duel with you. And by duel, I mean literal duels. If, in the form of, you got Abraham Lincoln and go wrestle you, and you got Andrew Jackson probably wrestle you or shoot you. And that type of energy, for me is like, all these people like to talk and act like they're so much bigger than they are. It's disgusting for any human being. You find humans that are doing really big things, creating rockets, creating massive companies, pioneering artificial intelligence, the super intelligence, and really paving the way for our next evolutional phase in life. And there's some of these people are very down to earth, no suits. And I know I'm just cooking myself basically on this podcast right now, cooking myself, but like just very down to earth. When did you see Elon Musk talking about what he's driving? When did you see him talking about how much money he has or he's made? When do you see him flexing or taunting about himself, maybe to others? Maybe he's definitely a taunter of others. But this is just one reference. The wealthier people get, like super wealthy, very, very rarely do they have to signal that they're wealthy. They're wealthy. You don't, like, if anything, they make it look like you couldn't look up something like, what are Elon Musk's possessions? What's his house look like? Every time I look it up, it's like, he lives at the office. I can't find any cars, never see him with some Richard Mille or anything absurd. And it's not to take away from the fun things. I love the fun things, have fun things. I love it. But it makes you question like the level of wealth. Like, there's poor people that I think are wealthier than people that have a couple $1 million, because you got these insurance guys, got $1 million, making $1 million a year. Some of these guys I've talked to don't, 40 years in the game or 20 years in the game, you don't have $1 million. And I have real life examples of these situations, and you can reach out if you want confirmation on that. Don't even have $1 million, but would have an executive assistant do everything for them, come in, cut my chicken up, rub this lotion on me, do all this crazy stuff. Like you're freaking an emperor of what? Of low level insurance? Not having $1 million? Not like, what are we talking about? It makes zero sense to me. And so be very careful with portraying and posturing yourself, especially getting too overly infatuated or getting your brain to think that you're way bigger than you are. Remind yourself, and this is healthy, of what you are and who you are. If you're selling insurance, you're in sales, and you're building something, it's good. You're making great money. But what are you going to do with that money? How are you going to invest that? What are you going to do to set aside money? Are you going to save money? And not putting yourself in a position where you're posturing yourself to belittle others. Doesn't do you any good. It doesn't make you better than anybody. And my fiance and I, we've something cool she came across couple weeks ago from a podcast is, when people get money, they do two things with it. They always signal, but they signal for, I'm building, or they signal for, I'm flexing. And you can kind of categorize which people are poorer and which people are wealthier. Wealthy people are typically always building, and poor people are usually always trying to flex. Long story short, 9 years in, looks like he's not getting his residuals, violated nothing in his contract, can't understand the contract. Like, he can understand it, but it's not that he can't understand it. It's the information isn't provided for him to understand it. It's insane. And you spend 9 years at a company, they tell you lifetime renewals, but the renewals, the reports only go back 4 years. So what happens when you hit year 5? Is it a guess? Hey, we're just guessing. I don't even talk about the renewals. I spent 7 years, I think it was 6 years at a company, 100% vested, because I was a agency owner. Technically, the agent, the contract reads that you're still an agent. You're just the highest contract. And I tell everybody, it's the best contract. If you're going to stay in the captive model, you should go do that contract, because it's like 130, 140% commission, like 20% renewals off everybody. You don't have to hit as many quotas and responsibilities as everybody. It's the best position you can be in. You can go make everybody else do the work, go hire, brain manipulate them into thinking, that you're Jeff Bezos and that you have it equally bad and that you don't have any. Listen, that is the best contract. It's the best contract. If you're watching this, you're like, man, I hate this guy's videos and I love this company and he doesn't know what this company did for him. Company did a lot for me. Captive Space did a lot for me. I made a video the other day. Not doing the drama anymore. I'm not doing this one's better than that one. There's a lot of money to be made in both spaces. Only one space can you sell your book of business, or do you have full ownership over your book of business? And do I think everybody's going to do that? No. I honestly think almost nobody's going to do that. I think 1% of people are going to do that, because 1% of people even end up actually doing the actual work to make a lot of money. If I were to do it all over again and I had to stay in the captive model, I would go and become the highest agent contract as soon as possible. Soon as it's readily available, I wouldn't even talk to the highest upline, the company I work for, because they would try to manipulate you and make you think it's not worth it. Well, then why are they it? I just came across it. Like, what are you talking about, bro? Reach out to your home office and you figure out how you get that contract as soon as possible. And then I'll tell you this. If you can't understand the contracts and the data tracking your bonuses, your residuals, and all of this money, you should run. Follow the pattern and run. Very bad. This is not good. This is not good. There's a lot of information out there on the industry in general that I have more information than people would like to know. Very, very disturbing things that are factual things, not emotional things. And if people were wise, they would stop analyzing from a short-term perspective of, let me maximize I don't know if it's for the shareholders because it's a publicly owned company and everybody else is just an employee, a commission-based employee, which really kind of contradicts itself. But I don't know why these people think this way. It's like, let's just burn people and cross our fingers and see what happens. I got a couple favorite movies, and one of them's Tombstone. And Wyatt Earp gets all his buddies killed. He's got a couple buddies left, and the cowboys are killing his buddies. And these cowboys are running off. He let a couple of them go, and he roughed them up. I think he handled a few, and he told them. And I mean, it's middle of a thunderstorm, and he's just screaming. And he said, they're running away. He said, listen, you tell them I'm coming and hell's coming with me. One of the hardest movie lines in the world. And it kind of aligns with one of my favorite books from Patrick Bet-David, Choose Your Enemies Wisely. There's just some people you don't want to screw over because they're going to spend a season of their life or a long period of their life, or maybe they make it a cornerstone of their life, of the people. It's one thing to hurt them, but when you hurt the people around them. For Patrick, it was somebody made a comment about his dad, and he spent the next 2 decades, or maybe even to this point now, of like making sure people respect the name Bet-David. For me, it's the people around me. It was one thing. I got into a bad business deal, and is what it is. I learned some good things, made some good money. 1099s looked great, and some things were mishandled, and that's on me. I take full ownership for that. It's another thing when you hurt the people around me. That's when that Wyatt Earp comes out of me. And now I'm going to spend the foreseeable future of my life going after, exposing, correcting, identifying, educating, and bringing value. Not doing anything. I could care less. You guys watch my content. I don't need to recruit anybody. I have nothing to sell you. If you want to buy life insurance or an annuity from me, you're welcome to. But I don't need anything. Not a thing. I've been a producer since I was 18 years old. Unlike these manipulative, corrupt individuals, typically in the insurance industry and most industries, they're just these lazy people. They're scared. That's why they come up with all these crazy hoops for people to jump through and can't leave. And if you leave, you're the devil, because they're scared to go hit the doors. I will go hit the doors for the rest of my life. I'll hit the phones for the rest of my life. What I won't tolerate is the evil, the corruption any longer. To the friends, to the family, to the people I don't even know. It's now my life mission that I'm coming and I'm bringing hell with me. That's it. It's simple. In a very, choose your enemies wisely. And the best part about it is the guys and the girls that go about it, especially the guys and the girls that kind of get along with me, is it's not some type of emotional vendetta and vengeance. It's prioritized through production and value and quality and exposing what's right. I like to relate it more so to Robin Hood. We're going to take from the greedy, corruptive style or taking advantage of people, and we're going to redistribute that wealth, not socialistically, through capitalism, fairly to the producers, to the people bringing value. That's where it belongs, not with you. You want to earn your share? You can earn your share through capitalism. It's a really good book you guys should read. I also got, and I share it all the time, is The Barbarians to Bureaucrats. And that's where people pioneer, and they're very ambitious. They build a really good company. It blows up. It gets really big. And then we put that money into delegation. And then the corporate little employees and leeches come in, and they drain the company. And now it hits a slow decline. And that's companies. That's insurance. But I'll tell you this. I want to end with stories. I want to end with, you're a young man, woman, an older man or woman, you're a human being, you're watching this, and you're thinking to yourself, I'm behind, I'm left out, I'm down, I'm not going to be able to get back up. That's wrong. It's absolutely wrong. I remember I'm 19 years old. I first get into life insurance. Up until that point, it was your typical American come up story. It was a rougher childhood, single mother, raised my sister and I working 2 or 3 jobs. My mom, my father went away. Just your typical American come up story, which I'm tired of oversharing, right? And so for myself to get into life insurance, find this randomly through an email, 19 years old, I'm knocking on doors in my mom's car. Up until this point, I have probably my first 6 months, I'm sleeping maybe 2-3 hours a night and nothing else added to that. No crazy stuff. These guys get into sales, they start doing crazy things. Me, it was energy drinks. They wouldn't keep me awake. I fell asleep 5 times in my first 2 years of insurance behind the wheel. Thank God nobody got hurt. Thank God I didn't get hurt. But I'm telling you, 19 years old, I'm knocking doors, I'm making the dials, I'm not making any sales, and I really don't see a bright light at the end of the tunnel. There was a brief period of time where I thought, this is awesome, I'm not going to do anything else, but maybe I really suck. I keep showing up. I keep knocking doors. I keep making dials. I keep praying to God, please help me take care of my mom. My why was my mom and my sister. To this very day, the cornerstone, the foundation of my why is my little sister and my mother, repaying every tear that they shed in their life to either contribute, support, deal with me, whatever it might be, to just give back. There isn't enough money in the world to give back for those tears, but that's what fueled me. And so every door, walking through the snow, stuck in driveways, some things people don't even realize now because you got your virtual high ticket salespeople. You're not stuck. You're not down. You're not behind. You're not out. You are just in the game. You are just in a piece of the level and you just have to keep going. It doesn't like your reflection of success does not mean you making $1 million today. It means how can you assess your situation and get a little bit better? How can you get one step further? Keep making dials. Keep showing up. I made a video a while ago and it was the seeds are planted and the fruits are coming. Just keep showing up. Just knock again, go again, show up again. You don't see it now, but the fruits are coming. You don't see it now. You don't see it now. Some of my best times was when I had no money and I'm knocking doors, driving my mom's Chevy 2012 Cruze. Every door, every part of the car was dented from wrecks. I had to get out of the passenger side. Imagine a salesman coming up to your house, get out of the passenger side, or leaving my driver's side window down to open the door because it had to open from the inside. Snow would be on the seat, wipe that off. My toes are purple from walking in the snow. You're not down. You're not out. You're not behind. You're in the process. You're in the journey. You're in the game. God has you exactly where he wants you to be. There's a lot of cliche and there's a lot of simplicity because life insurance is life insurance and you should be able to figure it out very, very quickly. It's not very complex or very deep and you're not going to move the universe with life insurance. And when you come to accept that, you realize this is just a piece of the level. This is a piece of the game. And it helps you just kind of realize and rationalize a little better that this is okay. I'm here to grow. How can I take this and accumulate as much money as possible so I can move to level 2 if I'd like? This is level 1. A lot of you are at pre-level. You're not even level 1. If you're not in a position where you have full control and ownership over your book of business, it's pre-level business. What you do with that cash flow moving on after that, that's what determines are you going to go to level 1, level 2, and so on, and what type of impact are you going to have on earth? What type of impact are you going to have to your sons, to your daughters? What are you going to show them? And, something that I've been reading right now, and I think for me, it's very inspirational. Why am I still here? Why am I still working this job? Why am I still dealing with this person? Why am I stuck, not able to figure out this next level in my life? In every aspect of my life, why is this happening in my relationship? I didn't forsake you. I've been preparing you because the same people, your family, the same loved ones, the same ones that were supposed to be your place of home and comfort, guess who they're going to come back to? When a big drought comes, when a big famine comes. I feel like that's my life right now, is we went through a season where the people I was closest to didn't betray me, but there was a massive split up. There was a massive separator. And then there was a season of I'm away, I'm working in the silence, in the shadows. And now things are coming down. Things are crumbling. And in that midst of things are coming down, we were restoring and preparing and ready to help our friends out, ready to help our family out, ready to help the people out that really wanted helped out of the situation they were in. God's not done with you. Everything that you're using, whether you're spiritual or you're not spiritual, you can understand whether you believe in God or you don't believe in God. You can understand this. If you have breath in your lungs, if you're willing to keep showing up, if you're willing to keep pushing forward, if you're willing to make another dial, give it another chance, give it another shot, if you're willing to ask bigger questions and open your mind, because a lot of people I'm realizing are pretty resilient, pretty tough, pretty stubborn, but they're getting lured in to bad opportunities and to stay in bad opportunities that are no longer serving them. God wants more for you, has a calling for more for you. You can have more in this life if you're willing to step out and open that door and step onto the water and ask yourself, am I willing to go through a period of darkness where nobody's going to be with me? It's just me and God. That's faith. The most important thing to me in my entire life and why I'm wired the way that I'm wired. I think of my soon-to-be wife. I think of my mom, and I think of my sister. And I think of my brothers that I would like to define as brothers in business, the men and the women that get very close to me. And regardless of us doing insurance business together, these are people that I take care of in the sense of they have access to me and I have their best interest at hand and vice versa. This is what drives my soul. This is what reminds me on those late nights, early mornings, the fear of, is this going to work out? Is this not going to work out? I think of, when you're laying in bed late at night or waking up in the middle of the night and you're asking, God, is this all going to work out? How much longer do we have on this planet? How much longer is this going to be this way? Will this go that way? Like, how is everything going to play out? I love this person. I love that person. I love my wife. I love my mom, my sister, the people we're doing business with. I don't want to lose anybody, not even in the sense of materialistically. I'm talking physically. And these feelings, they start to overwhelm me and they start to drive and compel me to the realization that it's not that deep. And I get this anxiety, this anxiousness, this paranoia, and it transcends slowly into a peace of I'm gonna be present. I'm gonna just absolutely maximize my love and my deliverance of kindness and value to the people that are close to me. That's all you can do. I don't know where you're at right now if you're watching this video and this gets clipped up and you're sitting there and you're on your last leg. Your mom's in the hospital. Your dad didn't make it. Your dad's in the hospital. Your children are in the hospital. Like life is hard for you right now. You're going through tough times in school. You're going through tough times in your new sales job, insurance, whatever it is. It just you start to realize that we're all human beings. That's somebody's brother. That's somebody's sister. Their father. That's somebody's daughter. That's somebody's grandmother. Like you're going through life right now, and you don't know which way it's gonna go. Is this person going to clock out? Is this person who's coming in? Is that going to get taken care of? Are we going to take care of this bill? You don't know. And the only thing you can do is get back up. It don't make sense right now, but it will. It will. Just keep going. Keep showing up. Keep praying. Keep working. Keep believing. God didn't bring you this far to bring you this far. Look, this is the deepest thing that people have to understand. Look at how far you've come and imagine how far you can go. You provide comfort to children and your wife. As a man, you pioneer, you pave the way ambitiously like a man, and you go find better, build better. Your loyalty is to your family and to building and evolving yourself into a better provider and a better protector. That's it. That's it. And to your community. If you're not doing that, what are you doing? How can you be a man? If you ever want any help, you're in the life and health insurance space, sales space, reach out to me. I don't have a course to sell you. I wish I did, but I do not have a course to sell you. I'd gladly help you guys. If you have anything you need, different ideas for videos, things you want me to go over, shoot me a DM. Would appreciate it on Instagram.
it is